Hey, it's Temestral, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and my passion is trucks and SUVs. As you know, if you've been a fan of this channel, you watch a lot of videos, which you should be doing. Hit subscribe, click the bell, smash the like button with my buddy Aaron Turpin. Drive Mode Show. It's a channel on YouTube. I'll put the link down below in the description. We are in pouring down rain outside of San Diego, driving a new CX-30. This is the new Mazda crossover built on the Mazda 3 platform. Sedan, basically a tall sedan. I can't give you driving impressions because, like I said, it's pouring down rain. You're not going to hear anything. I'm going to talk on the GoPro. But what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to do some B-roll, tell you my driving impressions, tell you more about the vehicle, and I'll do that kind of voiceover. Sorry, it's what I got. But I'm going to give you my 5 good things and 5, well, not so good things about this car. And I'll get Aaron's input on this. We'll make a list together. We'll put it in the end of the video. So if you want to know, like, cut to the bowl, get right to what's good and what's bad, this is the video for you. And we'll get started on that right now. Okay, let's talk about the CX-30. First of all, this slots between the CX-3 and the CX-5. Yes, I know what you're saying, but it's a 30. It should be like a minivan. Nope, they decided to change up the numbering of these vehicles and really screw everything up. Anyways, that's the first bitch about it. It really should be a CX-4. This is the 30. It's a compact crossover, and so it's a little bit bigger than the CX-3, a little bit smaller than CX-5. The idea here is it fits a smaller family of maybe like a single, maybe a couple, not really meant for a family of 4, even though it does seat 5. You'll see when I get to the 5 good things and 5 bad things, seating 5 is a bit of a challenge. As per usual, this is elegantly designed. This is Mazda's Kodo design philosophy. It was a 2-hour presentation. I can tell you that the presenters love their design, and it blends the sleekness of a vehicle with openness of all sorts of stuff, and it looks really good. That's what I'm going to say. I don't think the cladding is too much. I think it just is a really good design, and I think it mirrors the rest of their vehicles. I think when you look at the CX-30 in the lineup, that it looks really nicely along all the other vehicles. So if you're looking for a really stylish crossover, I think this is probably the best on the market. So inside this vehicle, we have 186 horsepower, thanks to the engine. Thanks to the 4-cylinder Skyactiv G 2.5 liter. This is paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission, 186 horsepower, and a convenient 186 foot-pounds of torque. Easy way to remember those. This does come with all-wheel drive. It does have G-Factoring Control Plus front-wheel drive as standard. This has the iActive all-wheel drive. You can transfer the torque to the rear tires when needed. And this really gives it a good planted feeling on the road. If you've ever driven a Mazda, you know that they drive really well. In this case, this Mazda is no slouch driving. They've made some changes to how the brakes interact at cornering and how the whole vehicle interacts when you're cornering. And off the line, it's smooth and it's quick and it corners really well. They've done a lot of work to improve the noise, vibration, and harshness. This is the sounds you get inside the interior of the cockpit, which is very driver-centric cockpit, by the way. And so it's hard to tell. Like, it was pouring down rain. I could still hear the engine as we were revving up, but I don't know if that was really loud or not because, again, you have the ambient noise of the rain hitting it. So I'm going to withhold judgment on how loud it is inside the cabin. And just to say that they've done a lot of work to improve the sound in the cabin, which has been kind of an issue for them over the past couple of years of things I've driven. Inside the cabin, they've done a lot of work to incorporate their premium materials inside. One of the things I've always thought with Mazdas is you get a lot of bang for your buck when you start looking interior. And they've done some interesting things, like they moved the speakers up on the cowls, they moved the subwoofers back away. They've done a lot of work on the sound system in this to make it really incredible. The radio sounds really well. We actually make a video on that because the sound is so good. They've done a lot of work to keep driver distraction down as well. They've moved the screen, infotainment screen, kind of down into the dash. It may look like it's added on to some people, but actually it's done there by design to put it behind put it lower than the mirror and kind of put it more in the dash. There is a slope there that goes into it, which I can see getting full of trash and dust and debris. But it does allow you to not turn your head and focus on that so much, and so it's not as distracting as other vehicles are. But I will say that we'll get to this in a little bit. The seats are pretty comfortable, and the driving position is ideal. And the only issue is you'll see that we have a little bit of an issue with the storage compartment. But let's go and get to those 5 good things and 5 bad things. I've kind of drawn us out far enough just to say that it's a typical Mazda. It drives really well, corners really well. Off the line is pretty quick for the size vehicle it is. I can hear some engine noise when you rev it up, but again, I can't tell for sure because of the rain. All right, there you go. There is the overview on the CX-30 with my goofy friend. And so let's talk about, let's kind of break this down. We got 5 good things and 5 bad things. We'll start with the good things because those are really easy to do. The price point is fantastic. I mean,
beautiful.
Fully loaded, 30 grand, and it's a beautiful. And second thing is beautiful looking car, SUV, CUV, whatever the hell you want to call this thing. It's very gorgeous interior. You get a lot of value for your dollar. The interior quality is exceptional. Number 3 has got to be driving performance, which is kind of a no-brainer with Mazda. Mazda products are really well and really not well, but really nice to drive, fun to drive experience. It's a well driving car.
It speaks well of Mazda that when they compare themselves to other manufacturers for driving quality, they're comparing themselves to like BMW and Audi.
Right.
Not the everyday brands, the upper end ones.
Yeah, so I mean, you're really talking about some premier off-road or premier on-road driving brands are comparing themselves to. So you have number 3. So we have price, we have styling, we have driving ability. I'm gonna tell you what, comfort-wise, these seats are really good.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of to compare this to would be Nissan with the zero gravity seating. They're both. I could sit in this seat all day.
Yeah.
And I have back issues, and I can sit in this all day.
Yeah, kind of angry too. Anyways, number 5, the 5th thing I would say that I really appreciate this is the driving position. So they've done a lot of work to make the cockpit-like design. So I'll show you this on the screen here in a minute, but the way the air comes in, the air vents, the way everything's lined up for the driver, steering wheel with the mile per hour right above it, and then you have heads-up display. Then just a little bit to the right of that, you have the infotainment screen, which works pretty well. It's easy to see. It's really made to have less distractions on the road, which is what the goal was, and it really does a good job of that.
And they, again, back to the seating, they tuned the seating for an upright sitting position with your arms in the correct spot for driving that stays comfortable.
Yeah, so. Absolutely agree. So now, let's get the 5, not so good things. Yeah, so the 5 not so good things. One of the things they made a deal about that we're going to demonstrate here is they have a center console that it moves back and forth. So the idea is, and I'm going to flip the camera on, so stay with me. Okay, is that when you want to use the infotainment screen, they want you to use your fingertips. This is a big deal, so that you just kind of use your fingertips. The center console is long, so you put your arm on there, and there's your fingertips. So it's easy to grab. And the volume knob, which I don't care for, but anyways, the volume knob's here, so it's easy to use this. Yes, steering wheel mounted volume knobs, but I own a CX-5 and I never use that over there. I use this. But I'm going to stay on course here. Anyways, so you use your fingers. So the idea is that when they open the center console up, is that it's a 2-thing operation. So it goes back, so I'm sliding it back, then it opens up. But here's the problem. Right about there, my elbow's done. And this is how you do the room. So I'm going to have Aaron do it. So here's the deal. I'm 5'7". Aaron is substantially taller.
6'3".
So he's a bigger guy. And he's going to open this up from his seating position. So go ahead and open this up. And when he goes back, yeah, look at it. I mean, look at how far. Look at his shoulder. I'm showing his shoulder on the screen. Look at the angle he's got. Look at his hand. And so then trying to get in there, so you're going to move your hand. So now he's hitting the back of the center console, trying to get down in here to get some stuff out of it. I find that to be not so great. Okay, so body types will matter. I mean, I've talked to people at lunch about it. Some people don't have a problem with it at all, but I think over the course of ownership, it'd be a pain in the butt. I think what I'm going to do with this is I would take it back, press the button, let it open, move my hand out of the way, let it finish opening, and then try to get in there.
Elbow to kick it open.
Right. I mean, I don't really have a choice there. It's something they designed it that way on purpose, and I wonder how many body types they tested out on, because we immediately both had a problem with it.
Mm-hmm. And we're like one extreme and average.
Right.
And so I can only imagine that somebody who's even smaller would just have more happening to make the same thing happen. Because if you shoulder lower, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah. So I mean, that's an issue. I'm kind of skipping around. I want to make sure I hit important things. Yes, I said the volume control is an issue. There's 3 things in the back I'm going to get to. But one of the things I want to get to, and this is going to kind of be a little bit of a Timism, is, I just thought of this, I want to talk about the off-road button. So, if you don't know, on the CX-30, Mazda decided to create an off-road mode. It's one of the first times they've done an off-road mode. It changed the transmission so it works differently off-road, so you're not spinning tires so much. So all their all-wheel drive system has been based on dry pavement, okay? But instead of like putting an intuitive off-road mode button down by the shifter or whatever, they put it in a weird spot. I'll take some B-roll of this, and I'll show you where this button's at. And so they have a weird spot for this. So what I'm saying is they could have an off-road button here. They have a sport mode, off mode. This is open over here. But instead they kept the same button as their traction control button and reprogrammed to be an off-road button. And it's just in a really weird spot, like I'm going to show you on the screen with this B-roll. It's in a very strange spot, and I don't think people even know it's going to exist. They're not going to be confused by it, and it's like a complete afterthought. And if you're going to make this vehicle be off-road capable, which, all right, I'm going to be highly suspect somebody's taking this off-road. Sorry. Dirt road probably, but I don't think you're going to have a tire in the air spinning unless
you did something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it as an accident, not I meant to do that.
Right.
With this. I mean, any vehicle this size, there are very few that are truly off-road capable.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, but I don't know why they spent all this time and they really thought through this vehicle. I mean, they gave a presentation this morning. I thought I should get a certificate when I got done with it. Like, I needed college credit. Like, they nailed this presentation with all this big thought they had on it. And to not bring that button anywhere near the transmission place where they had the other sport button seems really strange to me. Yeah. Let me hop in the back. I want to show you what's going on back there, because there's some obvious misses. Okay, like I said, pouring down rain out here, and it's been pouring down our entire trip. So I'm going to hop in the back here. I'm going to lock the door. Lock the door. All right. So, before I take the umbrella in a weird spot, let's move this stuff around. So one of the things we're going to talk about is entry-exit here. This is the door opening, and it's right here. Like, it's high to get in. That entry is awful. Like, it's like my breath gets taken away trying to get in this thing. And all right, I'm going to show you this as far as rear seat legroom too, because I was sitting in front on 5'6", on a good day, 5'7". He's been in the front seat too, 6'2". And I'm going to tell you, I don't understand the thinking here, but let me show you this too. Okay, these are my knees into the seat. 5'7". This is how well I fit back there. Headroom. I'm right there. I would get claustrophobic back here if this is me. So I guess 3 and 3's elongated, but you have rear seat legroom is just awful, and entry exit just awful. So it's really, this is a 1-person, 2-person car, and you can't even fit a kid back here. Like the rear facing car seat would be a challenge to have somebody in the front seat with you with this rear facing car seat, because the rear facing car seat takes even more room if you have kids. You know what I'm talking about. Let's get these other things going on back here too. So I'm going to start right here. As you see, these are heating and cooled vents back here, which I think is an important thing to have. It should be standard. I don't know why this is so hard not to be standard. But my bitch on this is this is only available with the select trim package. So you have to get an additional package, a select package on your trim level. If I can speak correctly here, it's a select package to get that. That is not standard. Another thing you're looking at missing, this would be number 5. Number 5, there are 0 USBs back here. Yep, nothing. There is 1 in the center console. There's 1 up below the radio. So in this vehicle you have 2. So if you have kids, you're going on a long road trip, kids always have Kindles, never remember to charge it. These kids back here would be running a long cord and using it in the console, which hopefully your phone's charged, your stuff charged up, because the consoles are gone. And if you plan on hooking an MP3 player up and like playing music through it or something, or your phone, because they do not offer wireless charging, and they don't offer wireless Apple Play, CarPlay, or wireless Android Auto. So if you're not using wireless Android Auto, not using wireless CarPlay, And if you do hook up your Bluetooth, you can play Bluetooth music up there. My point, though, is if you're doing long road trips or you're doing anything with your kids, man, these kids need power these days. They need all sorts of power. Wi-Fi is in this car, too. It's a nice option, but it's really about power. And I'm really confused why we can't have more USBs back here. You have them in the console. Just multiply the power, run another cord back there, and just put another in there. You already have the wiring done. It seems like a kind of a miss to me. It seems like, in my view of this vehicle, Mazda's done an amazing job on styling, on drivability, on the seat quality, as far as the material usage. The overall, they've done a great job in the big picture, but on the small things, there's a little bit of an issue. And I just thought of another thing. I'm going to do like 5 or 6 I don't like. I'm going up front, talk with Aaron one more time. I want to show you about this cup holders. It's a big deal. Trust me, big deal. The sill back here in this front seat is much lower than the sill in the back for whatever reason. It just feels that way. But I want to get to this because so you have a really nice door handle here. You know, really nice. I'm telling you, material choices is amazing. But if I take one of these cup holders, which again, if you have a taller cup here, like you go to a convenience store, get a taller cup, you got a problem there. If you put it in the door, I'm gonna back. So I have this here. I'm going in the door. I got my hands got to go against the door. I got to turn it. I got to go in. I got to drop it. And then this cup holder is like a square. Like I don't know about you. I don't see a whole lot of square pop bottles and water bottles, except for, I guess, Fiji. So if you're buying Fiji water, this is the vehicle for you. But yeah, it's so crazy because I own a Mazda. I own a CX-5. Full disclosure, I like the brand. I like the vehicle. I'm not being overly negative, but I'm telling you, in the ownership that we've had of this vehicle, the volume button drives us nuts. The water in the door is a Mazda thing, and it drives us nuts too. We can't use that in the vehicle. It really makes it a pain in the ass to only have 2 cup holders that we can moderately use. Okay, we're going to try to demonstrate this audio the best we can. Ignore what it's saying on the screen. That's not accurate.
That is a really good song for this car, though.
It is. We've been listening to that quite a bit, too. But what we're talking about here is I'm gonna crank up the volume here on the knob that I always use. So there we go. And then when I go into... go back to menu. I'm going to go to... Okay, so see the center point there is a system that shows you where creates a visual surround system. This is the sound, and where it's coming from, it feels like it's coming from right here. That's because the tweeter's up there, and the speaker is up higher in the door. It's not down below, it's up higher.
And then you're right in there.
Yep.
Is where your subwoofer is.
So subs at
103.
Yep, so we have subwoofer in there, we have speaker in the door, we have another subwoofer, another speaker, and then a subwoofer behind us. So I'll try to, I'll flip the camera around the best I can do while I'm still filming this. I don't want to lose any of the audio here. So this is, what I'm saying to you is the speakers used to be mounted down lower, and the subwoofers were underneath the seats, and the tweeters were up a little bit higher, but they've fundamentally changed how they did the entire layout in this vehicle. And it creates just amazing sound experience.
Amazing. Best I've heard, by far.
At this price point?
Oh yeah.
Absurd. Come to San Diego, they said. Have fun in San Diego, they said. Yes, we're driving through fog for the last mile, and it's raining here, and I have Aaron driving, which is nice for me because I can video him driving, being stressed. We're driving down the canyon road into the bottom of the canyon, basically, with fog in the bottom. We just got done driving in 5 hours of pouring rain. Yep. And now we're driving through the fog.
And one false move here, and he and I have to brush up on our goofy sounds because right over a cliff.
Yeah, that we think is there because, right here, we assume that is a cliff that goes, well, no idea. So, I mean, overall, I have a hard time with this vehicle. There's a lot of hits. There's a lot of misses, though.
I think as a first try, this vehicle's really good. They looked at the overall really, really well.
Right.
Now it's the details. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have to wait a couple years, let those details get ironed out, and everybody to complain and get it all lined up, and then they'll fix it in a mid-cycle somewhere.
Right.
But those cup holders up front, it should be pointed out. You got kids in the back. The cup holders back there are worse than that. So they're even more constricted.
Yeah.
So your kids half-eaten shake, it's going all over the back seat because it's not going to stay in that cup holder.
Yeah. All right. So we got nailed it. For more Pickup Truck Plus SUV news, find us on pickuptrucktalk.com. 3 words. Pickup Truck Talk, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Trust me, I've done it. As always, we will see you down the road.